Hey, Dee, I was just looking at the Costco ad while I was waiting on you.
Oh, yeah. While you're waiting for my computer to boot up, what did you find out?
Dee, please hang on. They have a Victorian style greenhouse for sale, 10 by 20, delivered
Okay.
to your curb for $9,999.
Wow. That's that's amazing. Are you going to get it?
We can get a 15-foot long one for $8,400
No,
or
girl, go
85.
big. Go big.
But Dee, remember, my neighborhood
Okay.
doesn't allow outbuildings.
Mine does.
Yay.
Oh.
And it doesn't come with heaters or anything like that. And I don't know, it says the glass is 4 millimeters thick. I don't know how thick that is.
That's pretty good, but it's glass. That would be a problem in Oklahoma, I think.
Uh,
We have to use the plastic because of the hail.
it might be a problem in Indiana. We can get hail too.
Yeah. But fun, one can dream.
One can dream, but my neighborhood, like I said, doesn't allow them. So, but anyway, dreams keep us going through the wintertime, Dee.
That they do. But now that we're back in reality land,
Are we?
let's start this episode as close as we can get.
Welcome to the Gardenangelist, where we chat about flowers, veggies, and all the best dirt. I'm Carol Michael from Indianapolis, Indiana. I have a suburban garden measured in square feet. It's about a third of an acre.
And I'm Dee Nash from Guthrie, Oklahoma, where I still have a large garden out in the country.
We are Gardenangelists because we love gardening. We want you to love it too.
Yes, we do. And we aren't afraid to spill all of our gardening secrets, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. But let's move on to this week's episode. Carol, how does your houseplant garden grow? 'Cause that's about where we are right now.
It is where we are. Yes, I did water all the house plants, picked off a few dead leaves and things. I sowed more microgreens. I've been keeping those going really well. Knock on wood, I haven't had any problems with gnats or fruit flies or anything like that.
No fungus gnats. Woohoo.
And that's about it. It takes a lot of energy to live in the wintertime sometimes. Just
Mm-hmm.
everything. Yeah, it's cold. There's still a foot of
Mm-hmm.
snow on the ground. We had snow flurries all
Yeah.
day yesterday. Put another little coating on everything, but made it to church just fine. Made it out to dinner just fine. But it's like, wow, today the sun is shining though. How about your garden?
The sun is shining here too. So you're absolutely right about it. It takes some real work to get through winter because Bill and I noticed on the coldest day when it got down to 7 degrees here and it was going to get colder at night, we noticed that the vents on the greenhouse were stuck open. And we
That's
had
wrong.
yes, so wrong. We had over a foot of snow on the ground and he's still walking with a walker and he has he had that neck surgery. So I'm just going to quickly tell what happened. All right. So we decide it must be the batteries. The batteries have gone down in the greenhouse. So we go out there first to check. I open the door breaks on the greenhouse.
Oh no.
Yeah. See, this will take away a little bit of that fantasy for you. All right. So door breaks on the greenhouse because trying to pull it open. I mean, it's getting older. It has issues. All right. So there was that. And then we get inside and we realize it's the batteries. And we go, okay, well, we'll get a battery charger down here. So we tried that first. That didn't work. So then, and most of this involves Dee running around in snow boots. Not really even snow boots. These are really my rain boots with socks. And it's not warm enough for those things. So my feet are getting really cold. I'm really miserable. And there's snow everywhere. And he can't really walk through it. So he can do very short distances. Finally, he drives his pickup up to the shop where our cars are, the extra cars. And we have a great big, huge battery jumper there. And so we took it down. It was super heavy. I had to load it up in the back of the truck. Couldn't get the tractors started because it was too cold. It was really hard. And so we finally got it there, got it open, got the vents closed by me clamping them on there to make, the positive and the negative. It was a nightmare. And then I get outside and I realized that the door's broken. And so we had to I had to go get the big giant screwdriver that's, I don't know, 4 feet long. And he had to wedge it while I pulled and it was hard. And so I
Oh.
have not been able to get in that greenhouse. That was my week. That was the
So
worst day.
I will say this. You have just convinced half our listeners that the greenhouse dream is really a nightmare.
It can be. It can be
And
really fun to have a greenhouse, but it is a lot of responsibility.
it
I don't
is.
think I would get another one. I don't think I would. And I know everybody's going to go, what? But I'm not kidding. I
I
don't think I'd get another one.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, let's move on to something sweet
Yeah.
and positive. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay, sunrises. That's my favorite this
I've
week.
seen them on
The
Instagram stories.
sunrises have been so beautiful, and the lake frozen with the sun beating down on it. It's been exquisite. What about you?
Well, can you go ice skating on your frozen lake?
No, it's not that frozen. And today we're going to get up to 52.
So it's not
supposedly.
Wisconsin frozen. It's
Oklahoma frozen, which isn't frozen enough.
Yeah.
Because remember, we were really warm until just recently, so it's not good enough. The other thing is, it's only 31 degrees right now. So I won't be going out there yet. But my plan is to go out and do a few videos if it gets up to 52,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're saying, because I want to talk about plants heaving themselves out of the soil.
Good idea.
That's something I want to talk about on Instagram. Okay, tell me about your favorite.
Well, I want to see what temperature. Oh, it's 16 here. It just really
Dang.
It's just really
It's been like that here for a week. It's been bad. It was 19 this morning when I went to church.
It might be above freezing on Friday. And I was just looking.
Okay. So tell me about your favorite. That's not your favorite.
No, my favorite is Dee. I put together some more Lego flowers.
Okay, that one I really love, the daisies, and it looks like there's little Mexican daisies in there.
I would almost call this
lavender.
chamomile. These little ones.
Yeah, it might be chamomile. Yeah, or chamomile.
But the set is just called daisies, and then it's got these like little lavenders.
It's got Spanish lavenders. Yeah.
And then look, so they even have this little. I don't know if I can put this detail on there.
The leaf.
No,
Yeah.
Here, let me pull that out.
What is that little thing?
They have a little
That
ladybug
thing.
that sits on the stem.
That is so cute.
Anyway,
I think I need that one. Where'd you get that one?
it came out in January. It's just called Daisies. And this is actually 2 sets worth. It's a fairly small set.
Yeah, it needs 2 sets to have a full bouquet. Kind of like the bouquet I bought at the store this week. I bought 2 sets, so I had a nice full bouquet, and it's got yellow daisies and yellow roses and I don't know, some other flowers in it.
Anyway,
very pretty.
It's very pretty, and I
suggest flowers for everybody.
Yes.
For all our listeners, go get yourself some flowers. I don't care if they're Lego flowers, grocery store flowers. Get some flowers because February started today while we're recording.
Yes, and I could have made my favorite. I did go to Aldi, and they had the hyacinths on the vase, and I bought one of each color, blue, pink, and white. And those
I need to go buy hyacinths.
Those are blooming in the other room. So I could have made that my favorite and saved the daisies, but I didn't.
That's okay. That's okay. So our insect of the week, you picked it and I like it.
Yeah, the insect of the week, but back up. We have question of the week is next.
Sorry. Question of the week. What is your prediction for Groundhog Day? I'm not a big believer in Groundhog Day at all. I mean, we're going to have some more winter weather. It's not going to go completely away.
Right. And then I was reading a Celtic tradition. I guess it's Celtic tradition. Mm-hmm. Today is, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Imbolc Imbolc Day. And the story is there's some ancient woman who goes out on the day, and if it's really sunny, she's gathering wood for the rest of winter. And so if it's really sunny out, she'll gather all day, and winter will be much, much longer.
Okay.
But if it's really cold and miserable, then she won't get much wood, and the winter won't be that long, which is kind of
I like that one better, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the same idea,
yes.
but it makes more sense because of wood.
And I'll have to get a link, but they're saying it's today, which is February the 1st, not February the 2nd. And I'm like, ooh, that's a problem because it's really sunny today. So the lady
really cold.
She could gather a lot of wood.
She could, but it would be really cold, so maybe she'd want to come indoors anyway.
Yeah. And then I've seen
I know I did.
I've seen some memes on Instagram where people are like, if the groundhog predicts more winter, we're going to kill it.
Yeah, no kidding. I've had all of it I can take.
Well, time will tell.
My plan is today, if it gets up to 50, I'm going to put some clothes on. I mean, I have on clothes, but clothes to walk in, and I'm going to go out and walk because I need the sunshine. Yes. I haven't had enough sunshine.
Yes, I agree with you.
All right, to our insect of the week, the crystal skipper, which is a type of butterfly. Go.
So anyway, what I guarantee that you've never seen this one. I've never seen it, but I was reading
Mm-mm.
about it. I bought this book at the bookstore this week and I started reading some chapter of it. The Last Butterflies.
The last butterflies. That's depressing, but
No, it's a
okay.
scientist's quest to save a rare and vanishing creature by Nick Haddad. And he just
Hmm.
talks about going out and he sort of accidentally finds these butterflies, and in this case, a crystal skipper, by, trying to do census of all the insects in an area. And he'll have it like in his
Hmm.
collection for 5 years. And then he'll find some scientist who says, wait, we haven't categorized this one yet. We haven't named this one yet. So
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool book. Where'd you find that book?
I found this book at Half Price Books. They had brand new copies of
Interesting.
it.
It's
We'll
interesting.
link to it on bookshop.org. They still have, it's still in print. It's not that old. I don't know, but just
Okay.
a few years old. But anyway, the crystal skipper that he found is on the Outer Banks of North Carolina around the dunes of Atlantic Beach. So,
That's cool.
and then that brings up
Uh,
the question, how do skippers differ from moths?
because they are different and they're also different from butterflies.
Yes.
They're kind of in between.
So if you
They
see a moth floating around during the day, it's likely a
It's
skipper.
a skipper. Right. And we have the Delaware skipper here. And then there's another skipper we have too. I mean, I'm sure we have more, but those are the ones I see all the time. And their wings are different
Yeah.
than butterfly wings. And they're small and they have very big eyes.
Yes.
At least these skippers. The fiery skipper, that's the other one that I see all the time.
Right. I was looking up, don't ask. I was looking up skippers in Indiana to see, there's tons of them out there, but they look like a moth, except they fly during the day.
Kind of.
That's for us,
Yeah.
non-entomologists. That's how we would notice them.
It's close enough. All right. You want to do the next quote?
Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. Corrie ten Boom.
Yes, who I loved. I read her book, A Hiding Place, when I was about 12 years old, and it was life changing. All right, so the flower, we're doing the year of the ficus, and you asked me, do I have a ficus houseplant? No, I don't. I don't have a ficus.
Well, indeed, the Year of the Ficus, this is a National Garden Bureau way to promote certain types of houseplants. I also do not have any ficus houseplants, which is kind of incredible to think of with all the
Yeah.
houseplants that I have, that there are no ficus here.
Yeah, there's not a single ficus.
What
here.
is
I'm
wrong
looking at
with
them
us, Dee?
online. I mean, there's a lot of different ficuses or fici. There are a lot of them out here. You know, the one that's really popular that I'm looking at right now online is the Elastica one, and it looks like a rubber plant, but it's not. So I don't know. What do you want to say about them? I just think I don't like them.
I just think it's an accident that I don't have a ficus inside, and I
Yeah.
think there's no particular reason why none has entered the realm of Carol.
Yeah.
So, but they are
I just don't.
classic
They're not my
classic
thing.
houseplants. I think about going to the local mall, and they have all the weeping figs, the trees inside,
Yeah.
tons and
Yeah,
tons.
and those are cool.
They'll last forever, those things,
Mhm.
with pretty minimal
And then,
care.
of course, yeah, you don't have to do much with them. Unlike the fiddle leaf fig, which everybody wanted for a while because it was on Instagram and some other places, it's kind of hard to grow and keep alive inside. But some people are really good at it. I have no desire to. Just don't care about it.
Do I even know anybody that's got a fiddle leaf fig? Maybe my nephew's wife. She has had a ton of houseplants, but even she was getting to the point where I just need to contain this obsession. So maybe I
Mhm.
hope houseplants are on the way down.
No, I don't. I mean, I think people just kind of went overboard
Yeah,
on them.
with the
So,
expensive ones especially. And there were some expensive figs out there.
like Pink Princess. Pink Princess.
Was that a fig?
No, it was not a fig. It was a philodendron. But now you can get it at Walmart because they figured out how to tissue culture it. I don't know what's wrong with my voice today, but it's like not cooperating.
That's okay.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so you've got 10 tips here. for
well, I
growing
got these from National Garden
packets.
Bureau. So
Okay.
we'll just go back and forth. We'll each talk about them. I'll take the odd ones, you take the even ones.
Go for it.
So they're often positioned as a low light tolerant plant. but most of them are happier in brighter spots indoors than on dimmer spots. And that is probably true of a lot of houseplants, but don't shove it into a dark corner. That's where your snake plant goes.
Yeah, and don't put it in the full western sun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Somewhere in
or
between.
south. Yeah, somewhere in between those two places. 2, ficus can put up with being root bound, but they would rather have their roots go free slightly. Repotting them every year or two as roots fill about 75% of the root ball will help provide optimal growth.
Yes. And if you have one of those weeping fig trees, you could end up with a pretty big plant after a while.
Extremely big.
So the white and pink variegated ficus varieties have less chlorophyll than their cousins, so they grow more slowly and are more susceptible to stress. They might need a little extra attention, and I bet you dollars to donuts, they'll be more pricey, so you'll want to give them more attention. But what kills a plant faster than anything, Dee?
Too much attention.
Exactly.
Too much water. You got to be careful. You can overdo it. Some ficus varieties, including the fiddle leaf fig, can root from just a leaf cutting, but without a node to grow from. These are zombie leaves. The leaf will never grow. It just maintains itself until it reaches the end of its natural lifespan.
That is interesting. I did not
know that.
I did not know that. Yes, you have to have a node for something to grow out of. Okay.
That makes sense.
And they are easy to propagate by seeds if they've been pollinated, and most are pollinated by wasps, stem cuttings, root cuttings, air layers, and tissue culture. So for the home gardener, stem cuttings, root cuttings, air layering, all easy to do. Do not be getting into home tissue culture.
Yeah, that's too hard.
And don't worry about
Ficus
seeds. You're not getting seeds from your houseplants.
I have to ask a question. What is air layering?
That's where they kind of nick the stem, and then they'll wrap like moss or something around it to keep it moist, and then wrap that in plastic. And then eventually another plant starts to grow and roots start to grow, and then you cut that off, and then you.
Okay, you too can become an air layerer. All right, ficus houseplants are not generally fussy about their potting mix. They just want it to be potting mixed instead of soil. Do you know how much often I explain that whole thing to my garden coaching clients? The best type of potting mix for your houseplant depends on how you water. So if you're somebody who waters more, you might want to choose a cactus type. If you're somebody who waters less, you might want to choose a more main type.
Yes. Or if you're just lazy like me, they're all getting the same potting mix.
Yeah, just don't worry about it. Okay, number 7.
Okay, in warm, humid conditions, many ficus produce aerial roots that hang down from their branches. They can be removed without harming the plant if you don't like the look.
For double the beauty, you can grow creeping ficus as a ground cover or a pot topper with the tree-formed varieties like weeping fig, fiddle leaf fig, and Audrey. Oh my gosh, like I have time for this. Okay, go.
Wait a minute. Now, that's not a bad idea, Dee. I got to tell you.
I am not getting another houseplant. I have too many.
I need to, we'll talk about next week, a houseplant situation that I have involving creeping plants. Not creepy, creeping.
Creeping.
I will talk about it next week.
I like stuff like this.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy.
This is a ZZ plant.
Yeah.
It's extremely easy. And this is a black one.
We don't need your ZZ plant. We're talking about ficus here. Put that away. Otherwise, I got to point back here. Look how big my bird of paradise is. You can't even see the lids up there.
I think that's really cool. Okay, go back. Where were we?
I'm on number 9.
Okay, let's go.
The weeping fig is famous for dropping its leaves when it's stressed. If you see the plant shed a bunch of leaves, it doesn't necessarily mean it's unhealthy. It's just under stress. And it's your job, houseplant mama or dada, to figure out why it's under stress. Too much water, not enough water, too much light, not enough light. Maybe you haven't fertilized it lately. Maybe it's just like going through its phase. You never know. But don't worry about it.
No, you don't.
Just fix it.
But here's the deal. In my house, it'd be too little water because I just don't water things very much. Okay, wiping down the ficus leaves, particularly on the large leaf varieties, because dust accumulates on top of them, can help your plant significantly be happier and healthier. That's because air can get to its system.
So I would say this because I was at a gardening group and somebody was talking about like you could buy sprays to put on the leaves. I would not. Just like a
No,
damp cloth to wipe it
just wipe
off.
them off.
You don't want to
Yeah.
gook it up with a bunch of waxes and things.
No, because that also will keep it from getting light in air,
Yes, you don't
which
want
are
to gook it
important.
up.
No gooking. Okay, that's it.
You're the ficus. We are pleased to present that. National Garden Bureau does a great job of promoting different species,
Boy, do they ever.
genuses every year. So anyway,
Yeah.
go get you a ficus. I might. If I see one that I like, I might. You never know. Do a quote.
Okay. Your home should be a sanctuary to which you can retreat when the outside world is crazy and full of chaos. Dorothy Kelly Patterson. I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more.
Vegetables. Carol found this in John Sheeper's Kitchen Garden Seeds, the 10 easiest vegetables to grow from seed. I think I had a blog post about that.
You might
I'm
have, and
sure.
if I find it when I'm doing the show notes, I would certainly include it.
Don't you know that at some point we did? Certainly we did that. Okay. So this is their list. I'll say one, you say one. Lettuce,
Beans,
Swiss chard,
beets,
cucumbers,
kale,
peas,
summer squash,
spinach.
and radishes. They are all easy to grow from seed.
They are. And you added corn to the list. Trying to think if there's anything else I would add to the list. Somebody will think it's
Well, there's the other
something.
things that we grow from seed, and I don't know why. I guess
onions. Onions are not hard to grow from seed at all.
inside, but they're talking about direct sowing.
Direct sowing. Well, I've actually done that too. I did that one year because I had some onion seed and it just took them a little longer. It worked really well. So there you go.
Yeah, I was going down through my garden. It's like, what else do I sow direct from seed in the vegetable garden? I could add pumpkins to the list.
Yeah. Any of the squashes.
Yeah, big seeds.
Winter squash, summer squash, big seeds, easy to handle. Yeah, all those things. Okay. So how to direct sow in 5 easy steps.
And this also,
Number 1.
shout out to John Sheeper's Kitchen Garden Seeds.
They have great emails too, by the way, people.
Useful, not just like buy our seeds.
No, they're extremely useful. And I think a friend of ours still writes them, but I could be wrong. A lot of things have changed in the garden world, so I don't want to say.
Garden writing world,
but if
yes.
so, she was pretty amazing. Okay, so get the timing right. For most crops, you wait until after all danger of frost has passed in your area, and you can find your spring frost date on their website. Many crops can be also started earlier.
Yes. So timing. So you got to know which ones you can start early, and because if you start an early one too late, then it'll get the heat of summer, like peas, and you won't get anything.
Right, or spinach, it'll bolt.
And a lot of times people don't realize this. It's not so much air temperature, but soil temperature.
I was going to say, soil thermometer is probably your best friend. Dee doesn't use one. Carol does. But they're both, a lot of this we've done so long that I know exactly when to sow everything.
Yeah, March 17th for peas.
In my case, it's in February. Okay, so next, prepare the soil. Choose the spot where you're sowing your seeds. Consider sun exposure, which you'll want 6 to 8 hours of sun, soil, and the ultimate size of the plant. You want good, almost always, you want good, well-drained soil. So if you take the soil and you put it in your hand and you made a fist and you opened it, it will kind of break apart. If it stays in a little ball, that means it's too much clay. If it just goes through your fingers, it's sand. But people, you should obviously know what sand looks like.
Right.
It should also have some compost.
Yeah.
All right. Turn the soil over with a spade or a fork. Break up the clumps. This says remove stones. Well, I don't have problems with stones here, but I do have problems with leaves and sticks.
Yeah.
And smooth the soil. Plant your seed. Tap it gently.
And then it says the seed packet is your best friend if it has the instructions on it. So we get some seeds to try. There are no instructions, but you should figure out how deep and how far apart, because you don't want to lettuce seed that you put like an inch deep in the soil. You're not going to get lettuce to germinate very well if you put lettuce seed.
No, it's too far.
That fine seed usually a lot of it needs light to germinate. So be careful and follow the instructions.
Yeah. And then you're supposed to water it regularly, especially when the seed is first sown. It needs to be watered regularly so it can break that cap on the seed so that the seed will start to sprout.
Yes, and you don't want to water it with a fire hose. You want to gently sprinkle it because the seed can be, yeah. But people know that kind of
And
stuff.
Oklahoma's watering, natural watering, which is called rain, is a lot of times a fire hose in the spring, and that's why all our seeds wash down the hill.
And I have something to say about, yeah, you water seeds and stuff, and then that helps to break down the
Mhm.
seed coat. And I think I'm going to write a blog post about this probably at the end of the week. But I self sowed. I sowed microgreens for basil, and
Mhm.
I didn't really cover it. And the basil seeds, they turn bluish gray, almost a blue, a really pretty blue before they start.
Really, I didn't know that.
And I looked it up, and it's like it develops a gelatinous coat that helps to keep it moist. And that coat on the basil
Oh,
was
that's cool.
blue. You wouldn't normally see that because it would be down in the soil, but I had not covered these at all. So I took a
Huh.
picture of it. That I'm gonna write a blog post probably end of the week. I'm in no rush.
Okay, cool. All right, and then you're supposed to thin your seedlings.
Yeah.
Just
Well, and
thin
this
'em.
is
That's hard for people when they start,
so
but
hard for
have to do
people.
it.
They're just like, oh, but baby plants, and I'm like,
Killing my
oh,
baby.
but none of them are going to grow to maturity, especially like radishes. You think I'm going to be very meticulous and sow my radishes like an inch apart, 2 inches apart, and
No.
it won't happen. And you need to thin it and just get over it.
Yeah, you do. And then you water and you weed them regularly, fertilize if you need them. If your crop is something that needs fertilizer, like for example, peas and beans don't really need fertilizer, so
But
all you got to have is good
yeah,
compost.
but corn likes a little nitrogen
Corn
boost.
needs yeah, it likes nitrogen boost. It likes to be very warm. There's a squirrel outside on my deck, and he is just, oh, he's going to get a drink out of the water fountain. That's kind of cute.
You know what?
I hope he doesn't go after Bill's bird seed.
I should time how long it takes you to notice a squirrel from the when we start to squirrel.
Well, he kept sitting up there and he was staring at me and switching his tail. Probably because I chased him away from the feeders. Oh my gosh, it's time for a quote.
Speaking of chasing away, my doorbell camera goes off and there's nobody at the door.
Hmm.
It's the feral cat. And
Yep.
I'm so lazy. I turn on the microphone and I'm like saying scat cat because it's sitting there trying to get at the bird feeder. And
Hmm.
sometimes especially after I fill the feeders, there's like 50 birds hanging around. It's incredible how many birds I'm feeding. The entire neighborhood is coming to
Yeah,
my feeders.
mine
But I'm
too.
like scat
Yeah,
cat
scat
and
cat.
it leaves.
Uh,
Doesn't know where that voice came from. I'll do a quote.
okay.
The person you will be in 5 years depends largely on the information you feed your mind today. Be picky about the books you read, the people you spend time with, and the conversations you engage in. Ruben Chavez. Oh,
And on our bookshelf this week, it's because of Teresa Byington, and it's Where the Old Roses Grow, Vita Sackville West, and The Battle for Beauty During Wartime. It's by Janelle McCullough, or it might be McCulloch. And we have an Amazon link, and I assume you can get it. Can you get it from Bookshop or not?
yes, we have a bookshop link. You can get
Okay.
it from there. And
Okay.
I just got I got it out of the library. And it's
Yeah.
one of those books I got a few pages in. I thought, you know what? I really do want this on my bookshelf. So I went and bought one. And it took a while to get here, but that's okay.
Yeah, it took mine a while to get here too, but I really like it.
I really like it too.
I'm
I am not
enjoying it.
completely done.
Me neither.
I am on page 115, but I've gotten through some, they're in the midst of the war. And you just read this, and the author has done an excellent job of talking about what it meant during the Second World War in England. And the author, by the way, is in Australia. She divides her time between England and Australia. But I mean, the British
Yeah.
government was like, we need everybody to grow food. And so
Potatoes.
there was pressure upon a lot of the nurseries and had been collecting these old rose varieties for decades to till it all under and plant vegetables. And so, not to
Yeah,
mention,
and a lot of the great houses lost their rose gardens during this
yes,
time.
they lost them. Either they plowed them under for a vegetable garden, or all the gardeners left and joined the military, and nobody came back, so there was really nobody to maintain them. I just can't imagine because they actually had. I mean, the Battle of Britain, they had German bombers who were dropping bombs on England near these gardens and
Hmm.
stuff. So, I love
Oh
this kind
yeah.
of history, Dee. Teresa is great to recommend it. I love this kind of history. I'm going to take this book to Garden Club.
Yeah, I like it too. And you actually texted me and said that on one of the pages,
Page
there was
78.
78. I hadn't found it again.
75.
I went and looked at it.
75.
75, is that where it is?
Yes.
Yeah, you said, tell me what you said.
They said they also brought in roses from abroad, including several from China, and the damask rose grown for the perfume industry in the Bulgarian valley of Kazanlink.
Kazanlink. I
Kazanlink.
think it'd be Kazanlink, but I might be wrong. Kazanlink.
And I know you talked about your friend and Bulgarian roses is the primary source for the rose that they grow for the perfume
rose
industry.
oil.
Anyway,
Yeah, Rosa Damascena.
yeah,
the damask rose. Yeah, but it's a particular one, and they get almost all the rose oil. We talked about this before from Bulgaria and from Turkey.
Yes.
So
anyway,
and I told him that you told me, and so I took a picture of the page. I'll send it to him. He'll get a kick out of that.
so anyway, it is, the tale of
Very
gardens
good
and
book.
roses in wartime and of fortitude and tenacity in the face of great loss and pain. Also a story of hope. Celebrates the achievements of an inspired group of rose lovers who saved Britain's favorite flower so it could survive and bloom for future generations. Even I am thinking, do I have enough old roses in this garden? I don't know that I do.
I don't have as many old roses in my garden as I used to. I used to be almost all historic roses, and I'm actually speaking at the Historic Rose Society this year. I tend to go for more modern varieties that look old because I love that full look, but I really love disease resistance. And while some old roses have great disease resistance, other ones don't. So it's a give and take.
Anyway, that's Where the Old Roses Grow, Vita Sackville West and the Battle for Beauty During Wartime by Janelle McCulloch. Really like it.
Please. Oh, I do too. I think it's great. I've been reading it at night.
I've been reading it at night as well. Great book. Happy to have it. I will probably finish it by the end of the week.
Okay, I'll do a quote. Never lose an opportunity for seeing anything that is beautiful, for beauty is God's handwriting, a wayside sacrament. Welcome it in every fair face, in every fair sky, in every fair flower, and thank God for it as a cup of blessing. That's Ralph Waldo Emerson, and Kathy Purdy sent that to us.
Yes, she emailed us and said,
love that.
I love this quote. Yes.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful quote.
I have never, ever heard that quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Kathy. We should say, for those who don't know, Kathy Purdy is one of our oldest friends, and we all met through blogging, and we all had blogs, and she and I have both kind of parked our blogs, but you're still blogging somewhat.
Yes, very little, very little.
I've said it's been 20 something years.
Let's put it this way. I'm a lazy blogger. I let the Garden Fairies write the blog post last week.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, the dirt. And I want you to talk about this, but this is my interior.
Okay, you froze for just a second, but you are there, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I found this article. It says, have you heard of the frazzled English woman aesthetic?
That's me.
So a lot of the searches turned up fashion advice, which is not Carol and Dee, but it carries over to interiors. And I found an article in House and Garden from the UK, and it says, and I quote, a frazzled English woman interior owes to the faded comfort of country house style and employ the locution. I don't know if that's, I copied that. I don't know.
That must be locution.
Locution of internet subculture, the nostalgia of cottagecore. And so
we've talked about cottagecore before.
This is
in a garden.
Yes, but it's
basically, it's mixing of patterns. It's mixing of styles of furniture. It's curtains that are like in my house that are flowers, and it's that look of worn, timeless beauty, right?
Yes, but essentially, and I'm going to read this to get it right. Essentially, we could see the popularity of the frazzled English woman interior as a call to embrace the imperfect detritus of life. The imperfect detritus of life. So they said not all of it, like mounds of phone chargers are not attractive, and cleanliness does matter. You don't want somebody that doesn't want dog hair all over them to leave your house with a fur coat they didn't want, points out the author. But certainly a case for deprioritizing a meticulously made bed every day, in favor of finding more time for other pursuits within the bounty of existence and allowing for a
Mm-hmm.
buildup, a small mountain of newspapers, tapestry project that you've been working on for 15 years, still laying around, piles of books. Who has piles of
Mm-hmm.
books?
Oh.
Somebody says, they say frazzled, I say interesting, was what one person called. And the disorder is bewitching. And they might be reassuringly welcome news for those of us who haven't already nailed some of the elements. We've already nailed down some of these elements.
Sure. I just took a picture of one of my piles of books
Okay.
for the newsletter because we do. I mean, I think it's an interesting, I find going into someone's house where there are books and teacups and, you know, pretty, pretty furniture that isn't,
Stuff
that's
just laying
worn.
around, like Carol's
Who
Lego
cares?
collection, a collection of Lego
Right?
flowers on the bookcases. So I asked myself, how does this style look in a garden? And I said, not too
Well,
fussy, not too neat, billowy
no.
flowers. You know, maybe you got your watering cans all lined up over by the hose spigot. You didn't put them all away and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Anyway, I thought that was fun. We are
it is fun.
another aesthetic, the frazzled Englishwoman aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Okay, so you need to do a quote.
Keep your faith in beautiful things, in the sun when it is hidden, in the spring when it is gone. Roy R. Gibson.
I love that. Okay, rabbit holes. Can I do mine first? Because you have two.
I cannot believe this one. Go for it.
Well, first I'm going to say I just watched all of Lord of the Rings again.
Wow.
Bill and I watched
That's
it
a time
together. Yeah, we
commitment.
watched. It took us so, like all week because we would stop it and then come back into it later. Watched all of it, and you know what and it kind of fits in with this whole theme of this podcast, which we didn't do on purpose, which has to do with England and I mean, who knew? Okay, so because LOTR is really about the war. And so it's very sad in some places, and I'd forgotten that part. Okay, the second part. I decided that I want to learn Bulgarian.
Of course you do, Dee.
So it's really hard. It's so hard. But I'm going to Bulgaria someday.
Okay.
I'm going.
Yes.
Okay. And so I want to be able to greet my good friend in Bulgarian. That's important to me. And I want to pronounce it right. So Bulgarian's hard for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons is that it has its own alphabet because it's Cyrillic. And so the good news is once you learn the alphabet, you can sound out the words. So that's good. And I know a lot of the words because we play this game together, and there are certain phrases that are said over and over again. I also have an app where I talk to a girl every day. Her name's Emma. She's AI, and she speaks back to me, so I hear it too.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I bought an alphabet book, a children's alphabet book from bookshop.org, and it's coming tomorrow. And I was going to say that their alphabet is the first Cyrillic alphabet. They invented it. They started using it in 865. And so it's different from Russia and Ukraine's. They have a few different letters. And if I remember right, there's only 30 letters. So there you go. That's my rabbit hole. And my daughter said to me the other day, she goes, and you think you don't have ADHD? She goes, because you're doing all this different stuff. And then you decide you're going to learn Bulgarian.
Well,
so, anyway.
I thought of the quote that you should embroider this in Bulgarian on a pillow. We can do hard things.
No kidding. Because you know what? It's hard.
I want you that'll be your goal, is to learn how to say we can do hard things in Bulgarian and then put it on a pillow.
So for example, the word cake, the word cake is torta, but it's spelled like topta because some of their letters are like a P is an R. But if you say the cake, it's tortada. And because they put the on the end.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Now, Dee, I haven't had lunch yet.
Hard.
And now you're talking about cake, and I'm getting hungry. So
I know.
let me just.
I do love cake. Let's move on.
My rabbit hole. I went down several rabbit holes planning this episode.
You did.
But there'll be a lost lady on Wednesday, and I went down a couple rabbit holes. I'm like, oh, not her. And then I found this other one, and like, oh, she's really just into using plants for dye, and I don't think she's really a garden writer. And I finally found one, and it looks like the information is going to be easy to get. So that'll be nice because, there's things
Mm-hmm.
going on this week and stuff. And it's like, that'll be nice, easy to find. So I'll post about her on Wednesday.
Cool.
Now, a garden to visit. Dee,
Which garden are we talking about this time?
we're talking about we're still in the Chicagoland area, and we're talking about the Morton
Ah,
Arboretum.
yeah.
So we both went to the Morton Arboretum.
We did.
And
Yep.
it took me forever on my phone to find pictures and say for certain that's the Morton Arboretum. They're not great pictures. But do you remember they had those giant dwarf and goblin creatures that they had created out of huge sticks and things parked around in the forest?
Yes, there's a picture of me standing in one. Yeah, I remember these. Yeah.
So, but we probably spent 90 minutes at the Morton Arboretum. And it is a day-long
You should
excursion.
spend like days.
It's a day-long
Didn't we-
excursion.
Didn't we go there and then we had dinner there or something?
No,
Because
we
I'm thinking of a different place.
we went to the Morton Arboretum, and then we immediately from there, I think we went to Ball Hort, and that's where we were for the most of the rest of the afternoon. But
That's funny because I remember more about Ball Hort.
yeah, because
of
the
all
Morton,
new
literally,
plants.
we had, I'm going to say 90 minutes, and now we should
That's
have
not
spent
long
much
enough.
longer there. And I've had my older sister has been to the Morton because her daughter lives up that way. And she's texted me from there and says, have you ever been here? This is a great place. And then a woman I used to work with was retired. She lives in a retirement village, I guess. And she was on a field trip, and she texted me once and said, have you ever been here? This is a really great place. So don't miss it. Don't miss it like we did.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds good. Now we got to do garden commissions.
All right. Dee, what?
You go first.
I need to
don't
carry
have
forward the
much.
task of organizing all my seeds and start some winter sowing. I saw from my notes from last year that I actually put my winter sown seeds out around early February, so I'm not really late doing that.
But it's time.
It's so snowy out there. I dare not step out there. I'll probably follow my patootie going down the 2 steps to the patio.
Your patukas.
So I did want to start some of that. I need to figure out what other seeds I need and get those taken care of. 10 to houseplants, 10 to microgreens, blah, 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 blah. How about you?
Bill and I are going to fix the door on the greenhouse because I need to get in there and water the plants because think about it. The heat, dry, dry, dry. If these plants survive the winter of 25, 26, it's going to be a miracle. It's just been a really hard, getting things right has been really hard this year. So
That reminds me.
because we just haven't had time.
Yeah, it reminds me I need to go check on my garage geraniums, which are all blooming and looking pretty good. But it's been in the high 40s out in the garage, so I need to go look at them, and they might need a little bit of water too. So thanks for the reminder, Dee. Let's wrap up. You ready?
Sure. I am so ready.
Thank you for listening to The Garden Angelist. We publish every week on Wednesdays at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Be sure and follow us on Apple Podcasts. That helps us get noticed by others.
If you subscribe to our Substack newsletter, you get a link to listen to the podcast a whole day early and links to the products we discuss. Plus, go over to YouTube and see us in person. Full episodes show up on Tuesdays. So, if you can't wait until Wednesday, you now have 2 ways to get episodes on Tuesdays.
And if you want to help support us, use our affiliate links. If you buy something after clicking through on them, we earn a small commission and it costs you nothing.
Or you can set up a monthly subscription through Buzzsprout, or you can make a one-time donation through PayPal. You also have the option of pledging your support on Substack.
Thank you to everyone who has done so. It helps us pay for podcast hosting.
It was lovely to chat with all of you over the Garden Gate. Bye until next week.
Bye, everybody.